Imagine standing at the edge of an ocean, vast and unknown, watching a storm brew in the distance. That storm is not in the sky, but inside your chest. The waves of love, longing, confusion, and even anger crash against your heart when you discover that the person you believe to be your twin flame, your soul's mirror, your divine counterpart, is in a relationship with someone else. It doesn't just sting, it shakes the foundation of everything you thought you knew about love, destiny, and even God's plan for your life. You may have asked yourself, if this is truly the one my soul recognizes, how can they be so deeply tied to another? Why would God allow such pain to exist in something so sacred? Let's begin by acknowledging something profoundly human. We are spiritual beings on a journey, not just of connection with others, but of return to ourselves, and ultimately, to God. The twin flame connection, in its deepest essence, is not merely about romance or union with another human. It's about awakening. It's about being refined in the fire of unconditional love, which often means confronting the areas in our lives that are still bound by fear, attachment, and ego. When your twin flame is in another relationship, it feels like rejection. But what if, and stay with me here, what if that rejection is actually a redirection? Not from your twin flame, but from God. We often hear that God's timing is perfect, that His ways are higher than ours. And yet, in the face of such spiritual heartbreak, it's easy to feel abandoned. But what if this very circumstance is an invitation? An open door, to look inward, to ask not, why are they with someone else? But what is this revealing in me? What is God asking me to see within myself right now? Could it be that your spiritual development, your identity in Christ, is being forged in the fire of this experience? This isn't about waiting for someone to come back, or about praying that their current relationship falls apart. No. This is about being refined in the wilderness. It's in these desolate moments that we are often met by the voice of God more clearly than ever before. The silence of their absence becomes the fertile ground where your soul begins to speak, and God begins to heal. This isn't about waiting for someone to come back or about praying that their current relationship falls apart. No. So, let me ask you this. What part of yourself have you been avoiding while focusing on your twin flame? And how might God be using this season to awaken the you that He created before the world began? If you've ever experienced this, drop a comment below. Be honest. Share your heart, because your story might be the exact light someone else needs right now. Think for a moment. Could their relationship with someone else be less about betrayal and more about divine timing? It may not feel like it, but often when your twin flame is with someone else, it reveals a mirror, not of their loyalty or love, but of your spiritual maturity. If this concept is hard to grasp, consider this. What if their current relationship is not a permanent destination, but a detour designed for both of your souls to grow in parallel? In many spiritual traditions, we are reminded that pruning precedes flourishing. This pruning process can feel like loss, distance, or spiritual silence. But pruning is not punishment. It is preparation. The absence of your twin flame, especially when they are with someone else, may be God's way of pruning the attachments, the codependency, the illusions of control that are keeping you from stepping fully into your calling. Let's flip the question for a moment. What if they're not the one who left? What if you are the one who needed space to heal? What if God is allowing this season so that your faith can be strengthened? So that your identity is rooted not in another person, but in Christ alone? When we idolize our twin flame, even unknowingly, we risk placing them above God in our hearts. Could it be that this loss is simply a sacred pause designed to reorder your priorities? There's also a truth that many overlook. Our twin flame is still human. They have free will, wounds, fears, and a journey of their own. Their relationship with someone else doesn't erase your connection. It reveals the spiritual distance between where you are and where you're called to be. Use that gap as motivation. Instead of watching their life unfold, invest in your own. Who are you becoming in this time? Think about it deeply. Are you being invited to release them with love so that you can step fully into your own divine journey? And if so, what would that look like in your daily life? When your twin flame is in another relationship, the emotional weight can feel unbearable. You may find yourself in a spiritual battlefield, torn between longing, jealousy, faith, and surrender. And make no mistake, this is not just emotional turmoil. It is spiritual warfare. Every trial you face has the potential to transform you, if you allow it. When your twin flame is with someone else, it may feel like you're being forgotten, but in reality, you're being forged. The heartbreak is not a detour, but the very furnace in which your divine identity is being revealed. The soul lessons hidden in this situation are profound. Patience, forgiveness, surrender, trust. These are not just virtues. They are spiritual muscles, and right now, they are being strengthened in you. Can you choose to bless your twin flame even when they're with someone else? Can you trust that God's plan is higher than your understanding? Can you believe that the promises spoken over your life are still true, even if this chapter hurts? This experience also invites deep self-inquiry. Are you still attaching your worth to their presence? Or have you come to understand that your value is eternal, unshakable, and rooted in God's love? When we stop chasing union and start embodying truth, we begin to experience a peace that surpasses understanding. And from that peace we begin to heal, not just for ourselves, but for generations. Take a moment, breathe, reflect. What is God whispering to you through this trial? Could this be your wilderness season, a sacred time of preparation before the promise? As difficult as it may be to accept, your twin flame being with someone else may be one of the most powerful gifts the universe is giving you, because it reveals the parts of yourself still in need of healing, and it ignites a deeper relationship with the divine. This pain, when transformed, becomes sacred. Think about how many spiritual awakenings are birthed in silence. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter where you are taught to love yourself, fully, unconditionally, eternally. There's a profound lesson here about identity. When your heart is breaking, it's tempting to define yourself by loss. But God is not asking you to live in grief forever. He is asking you to remember who you are in Him. Your twin flame is not your source of joy. God is. And when you stop seeking validation from their presence and start embracing your identity, everything begins to shift. The emptiness starts to feel like space. Space for grace, for purpose, for revelation. This is the time to rebuild, to rediscover your passions, your calling, your divine mission on earth. What if the pain you're feeling is a divine alert, waking you up to the dreams you buried while you were focused on someone else? What gifts are lying dormant inside you, waiting to be activated? What would it look like to stop waiting for someone to return, and instead rise into the person you were born to become? Isn't it time to stop waiting and start living? Let me invite you into a new mindset. Your twin flame is not your destination. They are a catalyst. They have awakened something sacred in you. But now, your journey must continue. Every time you feel the ache, turn it into prayer. Every time you feel the sting of distance, turn it into worship. Every tear you've cried is watering the soil of your soul, preparing it for harvest. Have you considered that you might be the miracle someone else is praying for? But that miracle can only emerge once you embrace the fullness of who you are. Let's talk about destiny. Not the kind found in storybooks, but the kind that rises from struggle and reshapes us through experience. When your twin flame is with someone else, it doesn't mean you are forgotten. It means your path requires solitude, growth, and the kind of self-awareness that only time and space can bring. The story unfolding around you may not follow your expectations, but it is still deeply meaningful. Your path doesn't pause because someone took a different turn. Your evolution continues, regardless of where they are or who they're with. Love, when it's real, doesn't cling. It releases. It wishes well. And in that release, something powerful happens. You stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself. You stop hoping to be rescued and begin rising on your own terms. True love doesn't demand presence to prove itself. It flows from freedom, not attachment. Every season of life carries a purpose. Pain teaches. Silence awakens. Separation clarifies. Maybe this season is about becoming everything you once thought someone else would unlock in you. Only now, you're the one holding the key. You're the one stepping into your power, not because someone returned, but because you chose to return to yourself. And when you reach the point where their happiness no longer wounds you, where their path no longer defines your peace, then you've arrived at a new level of strength. You no longer orbit their choices. You stand firm in your own truth. You become your own source of light. And that radiance has the power to inspire everyone around you. This is not about waiting anymore. This is about rising. And as you rise, you become the very person you were always meant to be. Your twin flame may be with someone else, but this is not the end of your path. It is a mirror, reflecting your resilience, your worth, and the depth of your becoming. This season isn't here to break you. It's here to sharpen your focus, to awaken your voice, to remind you of everything that still lives inside you. Let it shape you, not shrink you. Let it reveal the strength you've carried all along. This is not your final chapter. It's just a turning point. Stay grounded, stay present, and remember, the love you've been searching for begins within.